Te voy a contar, los ojos ya no pueden ver cosas que solo el corazón puede entender. Muy fundamental es el amor, es imposible ser feliz tan solo. El resto es más, todo lo que no sé contar. Son cosas lindas que yo tengo para dar. Viene suave la brisa, me dice es imposible ser feliz tan solo. Primera vez fue la ciudad, la segunda vez la eternidad. Ahora ya sé la ola que viene del mar y las estrellas que olvidamos de contar. Cuando la noche nos envuelve. Oh, la primera vez fue la ciudad, la segunda vez la eternidad. Ahora ya sé la ola que viene del mar y las estrellas que olvidamos de contar. El amor se deja sorprender cuando la noche nos envuelve.
The TD Winnipeg International Jazz Festival kicks off today, bringing world-class jazz to venues across the city, from international headliners to local favorites. The festival promises a week of unforgettable music. One standout show happens tomorrow, Wednesday, June 18th at 8:30 p.m. at the Little Brown Jug Taproom, where the spotlight will shine on the vibrant rhythms of Brazil. Vocalist Epp and Brazilian guitarist Emmanuel Bach will take audiences on a musical journey through the heart of Brazilian sounds. Not just the familiar sway of bossa nova and samba, but also the infectious grooves of baião, xaxado, and choro. With Emmanuel's expressive guitar and Amber's luminous voice, the duo blends timeless Brazilian melodies with jazz-infused improvisation, creating a night where tradition dances with spontaneity and every beat tells a story. And joining me here in the Classic 107 studio, I am joined by Amber Epp and guitarist Emmanuel Bach. Hey, great to see you both. First of all, what did we just hear?
So you just heard a song called Wave. That's the English name. Te vou contar in Portuguese and Te voy a contar in Spanish. It's got a lot of names. But it's written by Tom Jobim, the same guy who wrote The Girl from Ipanema.
Emmanuel, I want to start things out with you. You're originally from Brazil, and you graduated from BU. Mm-hmm. Are you done at the University of Manitoba now? Or
Yes. Yeah.
You just finished
my master's.
So what brought you to Manitoba?
Well, that's a long story. So I was looking, because I lived in the States for a little bit. I lived in Boston for 2 years and a half, and I started the degree in Berklee College of Music, but I didn't manage to finish. So I went back to Brazil, did a lot of working as a musician there, and then at some point I said, you know what, I want to go back to school. And then I was looking up the States. I said, maybe the States is not the best place for a foreign person to be right now. So so I started looking into Canada, and then I started looking at price ranges and the best place for immigrants to be in Canada. And then Manitoba came out as a really good province to move to. Mm-hmm. So that's how I ended up in Manitoba.
That's why you ended up here. I always think Brazilian music has a very specific feel and rhythm. Like, it's not something you can just learn by reading it. You have to listen to it and just get that perfect sense of feel. When you were young, what made you want to play this kind of music, and how did you learn like this intricate style of guitar playing?
Yeah, that's a great question. My dad, I was like, when I was younger, I was pretty much a rocker for the most, as all guitar players are.
Yeah.
But my dad always enjoyed listening to Toquinho and João Gilberto, and like he had a lot of bossa nova records at home. And I would listen to that music with him, and I liked listening to that music. And then I started playing with some rock bands in Brazil and stuff. And then as I got professionalized as a musician and started playing more serious gigs, I started playing like weddings and stuff like that. I got in contact with the jazz scene in Curitiba. I am from Curitiba, and we have a great local scene in Curitiba. Ayrton Moreira lived in Curitiba. They still live there, Ayrton in Florida. So, and Raul de Souza, a great trombone player, was from there. So I grew up listening to those guys playing, just going to clubs and listening to a lot of great musicians. Yeah. And I think the most that I learned is just from playing with music with them.
And just doing it on the job training.
Yeah. Like they would show me some records, some stuff, and then I would come. I was really young, like the piano player for Raul de Souza. He has a jazz club in Curitiba. Jeff Sabak, great piano player. He would always invite me and say, come play a tune. And I would go and completely ruin it, but he kept believing in me. So I kept coming back. And then one day, like, someone was like, okay, let's call this guy for a gig. So I started playing some gigs with them. And then they would give me some feedback, say, this doesn't really work. You should listen to this. You should do that. And, and then the more I played with people, the more I learned from them, So.
Amazing. And Amber, when did you first meet Emmanuel, and when did you start performing together?
Okay, well, we sort of met by accident. I'd hired another guitarist for a gig, and he had a conflict come up. He couldn't make it. And he's like, I know this guitarist, Emmanuel. You both play Latin music, so I think you're going to enjoy playing together. So we met for the first time on the gig. We had never played together or even met. And we did. We had a great time. Playing some background music in a restaurant. And then, we did it a few times, and then we thought, okay, we both like playing together. Let's put a project together. So we did, and we're starting.
Amber, you've lived in Cuba, and you've performed a lot with Rodrigo Munoz for Trio Bembe. I gotta ask, is singing Portuguese harder than singing Spanish?
For me, it is. So just because I have more experience singing in Spanish, I've been doing a lot more of that the last maybe 15 years or so. But at the very least, they're like language cousins. So there's a lot of overlap. In Spanish, you have rules for pronunciation, and it's always the same rule. So once you learn the rules, it never changes. You can pronounce anything. But Portuguese is a little more like English, oh, if you put these letters, it's like this, except for these words and this, and oh, it depends what part of Brazil you're from, and that one does it this way, and someone does it that way. But it's fun. I still, the music makes it worth it. So
absolutely.
And I have a good teacher to correct me if I say something wrong.
As I said in the intro, Brazil, it's more than samba and bossa nova. In the description on the Jazz Winnipeg website, it also talks about, help me out here, baião and xaxado and choro. Can you talk about these forms a bit, Emmanuel?
So Brazilian, actually, there's more than 300 Brazilian rhythms. It's a really rich music. I have to confess that I don't know all of them. There's a lot of regional music. So baião and xaxado, they are northeastern Brazilian music. So from Recife, especially from Bahia, those states, they have like their own music.
Mm-hmm.
And choro is more like, choro is not a style. Choro is a mix of styles. So they would choro is a mixture of classical music and samba, and even Cuban music as well. It has that influence. And choros means crying. So it's like the way they play the instrument, make the instrument cry. That's kind of a little bit of the Portuguese heritage in Brazilian music, like when you listen to the fado, that they have those really mourning kind of guitar playing and mandolin playing. And so choro has that element, but with the samba rhythms. And Pixinguinha, which was actually the first Brazilian black Brazilian musician to perform outside of Brazil. He was a big icon into the choro, and he's a big influence on bossa nova and on samba. That music, it comes before. Yeah.
And did the rhythms transfer over?
Yes. A lot of the rhythms transfer over. Yeah. You can write doctor degree thesis on that.
And Amber, does your knowledge of Latin American music help when it comes to singing samba and bossa nova?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, Latin music, it's all like a straight beat, like da 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 da, and swing music. What a lot of people think of like doom ba doom da doom ba doom ba doom. So the fact that it's straight helps, and there's a lot of syncopation in Latin music, a lot. So in Cuban son, like salsa, you don't have anything on the downbeat. There's nothing. So actually, sometimes it's harder for me to play something on the beat after so much practice off the beat. But yeah, it definitely helps. Of course, it's not the same. But I will also say they're kind of like musical cousins.
Yeah.
Cuban music and Brazilian music. There's a lot of overlap. And also pairs really well with jazz.
Yeah.
The harmonies and, and also jazz musicians, we like playing with different things and trying out different things and improvising, and it seems to fit well with those styles.
Yeah, absolutely. All the syncopations makes perfect sense. So the show is tomorrow night. What can audiences expect? Can you talk about some of the artists and some of the tunes that you're going to be covering?
Yeah, we're going to do a mixture of tunes. We're going to do a few Djavan tunes. Djavan is the Brazilian Stevie Wonder kind of. He's a samba but also pop artist. So he's very well known in Brazil. Great composer. We're going to play some music by him. We're going to play some music by João Donato. And play some music by Jobim. Mm-hmm. We're going to play some jazz standards as well. So yeah, make sure some pop tunes that we done our own versions as well. Yeah.
Amber, are there tunes on the set that you're looking forward to singing?
Yes. I mean, I like them all. I really like a wave that we played on the radio today. You can't see what Emmanuel's playing, but it's this very complicated and cool rhythm. And I'm kind of oh, this is so cool. And I just sing. And also we made this version of the Carpenter song Close to You. And kind of just a nice laid back bossa nova. It's really nice. And it's just all going to be great.
I'm interested in how the set list came together. I mean, when I think of Brazilian musicians, there's Rosa Passos, there's Carlos Jobim, there's Astrud Gilberto. How did you narrow it down into just a set?
Well, the thing that we've done we start with common things that we both know, and then maybe we put our own twist on those things, So, how we can play this tune that we know and we played a lot, but our own way, and how we can make it different. So, and also I've been bugging Amber with a lot of playlists. Oh, you should listen to this. You should listen to that.
So he has sent me every few days. He sends me some songs. Listen to this. Listen to this. There's a lot of new music for me. Okay, I kept track of it all, and I'll pick like a few favorites. Okay, let me learn these ones first. So like a few songs that are new to me. Definitely some like bossa nova standards that people know. And try we're gonna play "Girl from Ipanema," but we're gonna play it in 7/4.
Nice.
Put a little something on it.
Extra.
And just sometimes we play a song and let's play with it a little bit. What can we do? We gave ourselves the confines of a duo, so how are you gonna make it work in that? With just 2 instruments. And
how many sets are there gonna be?
2 sets.
There's 2 sets.
Yeah.
This has been so great. I'm going to wrap up the conversation by asking what you're looking forward to most about performing tomorrow night at the Little Brown Taproom. Amber, I'll start with you.
For me, this is a new project for us, and this is our first show. So, I think in a year we'll look back and be like, wow, we started a year ago, and hopefully we'll get to play a lot. It's something fun and new and exciting. So.
Yeah, perfect. How about you, Emmanuel?
For me, I'm curious how the audience is gonna receive all our creativity, because we put a lot of creativity into that.
They're gonna love it.
Yeah,
Let me just tell you now.
So I'm looking forward to share this with everyone.
Amber and Emmanuel, this has been really fun having you here in studio. I hope the show tomorrow night at 8:30 at the Little Brown Jug Taproom is packed and the crowd is jumping. Thanks so much for taking the time to stop by and talk to me today.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
Thank you.
For our Classic 107 listeners, Amber Epp and Emmanuel Bach perform tomorrow night at 8:30 at the Little Brown Jug Taproom. For more details, visit Jazz Winnipeg at jazzwinnipeg.com or go to classic107.com. I've embedded a direct link to the show page in the article about the concert that you can find up there now. Amber and Emmanuel, thanks again. And I understand you're going to play us out with a tune. What are we going to hear?
You're going to hear a song called Massa. It's written by Djavan. He's the guy we said was like the Stevie Wonder of Brazil. So hope you enjoy Massa.
Take it away.
1, 2,
Subi ladeira nas carreiras, tinha-me desfiladeiro abaixo, encalacrei no lodo, na lama, na areia movediça da carícia humana. O chão brilhava, a casa ria, clareava um dia e eu nos teus braços. E viajei, fui bater na Espanha, com o cheiro que você tem. Me embriaguei, destruí Casablanca, me revoltei contra Nicarágua, pois me atolam lá no Irã. Teu beijo é no baião, o que quente sem massa. Como é bom te querer, acordei, tava frio. Dei a volta e voltei pro Rio. Dei a volta e voltei pro Rio. Voltei, a volta e voltei pro Rio. Subi ladeira nas carreiras, tinha me desfiladeiro abaixo, em Calacré, no lodo, na lama, na areia movediça da carícia humana. O chão brilhava, a casa ria, clareava um dia e eu nos teus braços viajei, fui bater na Espanha com o cheiro que você tem. Me embriaguei, destruí Casa Blanca, me revoltei contra